And then just letting yourself gently settle into your space. Feeling your hands here, let them kind of feel nice and heavy. So if they're feeling a bit light or you haven't had any awareness in your hands, let's just draw the weight, the awareness into the hands. Let your legs become nice and heavy. Let yourself feel nice and grounded. So our practice today, tapping into the essence of Halloween. This is not just about the different figures or dressing up or the candy or the lollies or whatever we like to call it over Halloween. It is quite a spiritual day, a day of introspection, a day of deeper connection to your higher self. That which is unseen becomes a lot more powerful on this day. So as we ground ourselves here, just allow your spine to gently float up. And we'll bring the awareness to the crown of our head. Imagine a beautiful, bright white light. Just creating a nice big ball just above your head space. And from here, just imagine your crown of your head opening. And we gently invite that white light down the crown of the head, down your spine, all the way to your sit bones. Let yourself drink up and soak up that light. This light connected to the divine. And let it represent to you either cleansing or healing, guidance, support. And let that just settle in to your body, into your day. And we'll set the intention to keep that connection open. So we connected to Source as we connect into our bodies as we move today. Still keep your awareness on your body. Adjust your movements today if you need. We'll gently bring the palms of the hands together, creating some warmth. Slowly bow your head down towards the fingertips here. And we'll open our practice today with one arm. So let's take a cleansing breath to prepare, breathing in through the nose. Exhale deeply. Inhale for arm. Beautiful. Just let that sound vibrate through the room. Let it resonate with you and may it support you through our practice today. Beautiful. We'll gently make our way into a comfortable Sukhasana. So if you, on your bolster, just come down onto the mat. And we'll start today with some hip circles. So as you inhale, we lean forward, and on the exhale, you could hold on to the knees here and lean back. And today this is called the cauldron. So mixing your potion here, the potion of whatever you need today. Maybe a little sprinkle of love, a dash of presence. And then we'll switch over to the other side. Just getting into that lower back. You can lean a little bit forward if you like. Just loosening the bottom of the spine. Good. And then we'll slowly come back to center here. Joining the hands behind your head, interlace fingers. We'll open the elbows. Nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, round your spine. Inhale, let's float up. And exhale, curl. Floating up once more, inhale. And exhale. Coming back to center. We'll bring the right hand down to the mat. Sweep your left arm over. And we'll draw the pinky finger down so it's facing the floor. And you can choose here whether you look to your hand or up to the top hand. So feel into your neck here. Press your left sit bone a little bit deeper into the floor. So we have the arm and the hip floating in opposite directions. Let's then slowly come over to the other side. And again, just feeling that hip and arm traveling in opposite directions. Coming back to center, let's interlace the hands behind the back. And your choice here, whether you take the chin up to the ceiling or down to the ground. Now I do have the heaters on because I felt like we needed a little bit of warmth, but if you feel too hot, let me know. And then we'll slowly, gently release. Make your way onto your mat, into a tabletop. And from here, we'll move from cow to angry cat. So our angry cat today, lion's breath. So as you inhale, we open up. As you exhale, stick your tongue out. Press your hands into the mat. Dome as much as you can. And inhale, float back to the front. Exhale. One more, inhale. And then we'll slowly curl the toes under, make your way into a nice downward facing dog. We'll let the head hang to the mat. Send your hips back and just let yourself feel into the sensations here. Beautiful. Just wanted to quickly check out chat. No sound. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. Beautiful. Allowing the body and head to hang here as much as you can. Then we'll slowly walk to the front of your mats. coming into Uttanasana. Letting yourself hang here, softening the shoulders. When you're ready, let's slowly start to make our way up. Make sure your feet are about hip distance here. We're going to float the arms up and then come onto your tippy toes into a vampire pose. And as you exhale, we'll gently release and fold forward. Lift halfway, inhale. And back down, exhale. We'll flow through a few of those, so keep your knees nice and bent as you flow back up to standing, coming into that vampire. When you're ready, coming up onto your tippy toes. You might feel that shaking. Exhale, come back down and fold. Let's lift halfway. Back down, exhale. And last one, floating up. Coming on to the tippy toes. And exhale back down, heels to the mat as we float down to the floor. And then from here, we'll walk the feet back into our downward facing dog. You might pedal your feet, or if your hips are quite tight, maybe a nice little wiggle from side to side. Or firm the hands into the floor. And then slowly lower your knees down to the ground. From here, we'll reach the right arm forward and left foot will follow. As you exhale, we'll gently curl elbow to knee. Inhale, we reach. Exhale, round. Let's do one more. Exhale. Well, then bring that right hand down, extend your left leg, and we're going to curl it up here into a nice little scorpion twist. Exhale, release your knee down to the mat, big toes touch, and we make our way into a nice child's pose. Soften into your breath. Allow the arms to stretch as far away from your body as you can. Just a nice little way here to check in on our energy. You might come back to that ball of light at the top of your head, drinking up a little bit more of that healing light, guidance, whatever you need today. Let's then float back up, coming into our tabletop, and we'll float the opposite hand, left arm out. Exhale, curl. Inhale, extend. And round. Inhale, float forward. Exhale. One more, extension. And as you exhale, we'll release the hand to the mat and curl that leg up. Slowly release, coming back to center. We'll walk the hands forward, float your body into a nice supported plank pose here, activating the core. Let's lower down slowly with control, keeping the elbows in, squeeze shoulders together. Nice, everyone. Taking your hands nice and wide, coming into bat. Inhale, opening up. Exhale down. On the next inhale, we'll float up. And as you exhale, we'll shh the breath out. Nice. One more inhale. Shh. One last one here. Inhale. Let's draw the hands back to the chest and curl back into a downward facing dog. Letting your hips float back as much as you can. We'll then slowly walk our feet to the front of the mat, coming back into our forward fold. A nice little sway here from side to side, allowing just some movement and space in the body. Floating up all the way. We'll make our way back into that vampire. So using your balance here, maybe a little drishti to focus on. This is really good for those twitch muscles in the feet. And as you exhale, coming back down. Lift halfway. And fold back to the floor. We'll float back up. Taking flight. Exhale. Floating back down. And make this as light as you can, almost like you floating like a feather. Inhale, one last one here. Lift halfway. Back down, exhale. Floating up. Coming onto the toes. Exhale. Make your way down. All the way to the floor. Hands to the mat as we step back into our downward facing dog. Pedal your feet here. And this time we'll come into a scorpion in downward facing dog. If you prefer coming down onto your knees, you're more than welcome. We'll float the right leg up, bend your knee here and curl that hip crease open. Keep your gaze to your front thumbs here. So we've got nice balance. We also have the shoulders almost square to the floor. Find your breath. And then as you exhale, we'll gently square the hips, look forward, step your foot to the front of the mat. Let's lower the back leg down and coming up all the way, Anjaneyasana. Reaching your hands behind your back, interlace fingers. And as you exhale, we'll gently sit slightly forward. Inhale, come back to center. We'll release the back leg, coming into a nice crescent lunge. So if you need to release your hands, gently do so. Leaning slightly forward like we are in arrowhead. Fire up that back foot. So we're nice and strong and supported here. Soften your jaw, gaze to the front. And then from here, we're going to step into mummy pose. So we'll release the hands to the front and then kick your foot up and bend the knee here. And you can add in a little growl if you like. As you exhale, we'll step that foot back into a warrior two. So take your time here to land. Reach the arms out to the side. We'll gently reverse. And extend. Letting the breath flow here. We'll float into a goddess pose. So slowly turn into our goddess and land. Today, warrior 2 breath. So it's an in, hold, and a out as we extend the legs down. Bend into the knees. Hold. Hold. Beautiful. Bend into your knees, and then we'll lean over to your back knee. Just tap the elbow onto the knee, and then slowly come back. We'll pivot back into our warrior 2 and land. Nice. Windmill your hands down to the floor, and we'll step into a plank pose. Bring your knees down to the floor. Slowly come down to the mat. Reaching your arms out for bats. Inhale. Ooh. Reach the hands back to our side. Flow back into your downward facing dog. Just let the body rest here for a moment. You might shake your head. Take your time here. Few more breaths. And then when you're ready, we'll make our way into scorpion on the left leg. Float your left leg up, bend your knee, open the hip. If you prefer, stay on your knees here. Beautiful. As you inhale, we'll extend the leg. Again, look to the front of your mat. Exhale, step your foot to the front. Let's lower the leg down to the floor. Arms flow up, Anjaneyasana. Connect your hands behind the back. Firm into your toes as we lift and shift. So sometimes the Halloween atmosphere can be a little bit low vibration, but we can choose to stick to our highest vibration, open our hearts to kindness and the good that can come from this auspicious day. We'll gently float slightly forward, start to shift your weight into the front foot, and then release the back leg coming into your crescent lunge here. If you need, release your hands coming to the side here. We'll take about 2 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, we'll make our way into that mummy. So the arms will float forward, slowly come up, hands will wiggle. I had fun with this. And as you exhale, warrior 2. Land, find that alignment in your front knee. Remember, that's our most important joint here. As you inhale, let's reach back and extend. I have switched off the heaters, so hopefully we'll cool down a little bit. And then slowly making your way into that goddess pose. So finding your alignment here again. We want to press the inner thighs outwards. So maybe press into your back toes, and that's going to help with that activation. Flowing through our warrior two breath. 2 ins. Hold. Nice. Floating back into your goddess. And again, we're leaning to your back knee. See if you can get that elbow as close to the thigh as you can. Inhale, come back up, and we'll float into a warrior two. Nice. Inhale. Let's lean back. Let's windmill our hands down to the floor. Step into your plank pose. Lower the knees. Coming down, chaturanga. Think about control here. Nice and slow. Pressing toes into the mat. Coming into our bat. 3 breaths. Beautiful. Bring your hands back to center. Come back into your tabletop. And we'll thread the right arm underneath the left. Nice little twist here. As you exhale, let's slowly switch over to the other side. Let your breath flow here. We'll then slowly make our way up into a seat. I'm demonstrating Hero's Pose Virasana, but any seat that feels comfortable for you. We'll sweep the arms out to the side here. See if you can almost hug the shoulder blades together here. And then we'll bring the right arm to your front, left arm on top, elbows will connect. And then see if you can bring the elbows a little bit higher towards your nose. Another variation here might be to just hold on to opposite shoulders if you feel a little bit tight today in that joint. Let your breath flow here. When you're ready, let's extend the arms out and we'll flow to the other side. We'll then slowly release the hands and make your way into pumpkin. So just a variation of child's pose. We'll bring the hands to the feet and head down to the mat. Let your shoulders hang down. If you need, and this is not comfortable, then just come into a nice wide-legged child's pose, and you can let your hands rest wherever feels nice in your wide-kneed child's pose. Let's then slowly bring the hands back to center, float back into a nice downward facing dog. We'll again float the right leg up, come into your scorpion. Stretching your leg out. And bring your foot to the outside of your mat for lizard. We'll lower the back knee down and then walk your hands out here. And today we'll just press onto the fingertips here and lift the head a little bit, almost like a spider. Think about having 4 more legs. And now just walk your hands a little bit further away, drop your chest. Slowly start to walk your hands back to the center of the mat. And from here, we'll release that back foot. Slowly heel toe your foot to the center, and we come back into our crescent lunge. Floating back into our mummy. So hands flow forward, bending into that knee. This time we'll digress into our pigeon pose. So stack your knee here over, or your ankle over the knee, hands to the heart. If you need some wall support here, option to hold onto the wall with your one hand. You can have the other hand here for balance, or just next to your heart or on the heart space. Another variation might be to lean against the wall as well. If you would like to go a little bit deeper, let's gently sit into that pigeon variation. See if you can shift your weight back a little bit. So we're getting into that glutes. We don't want any corpses here, so please breathe. And when you're ready, we'll slowly release, flying into your vampire. And exhale back down to the floor. Lift halfway, inhale. Exhale. Hands to the mat as we gently step into a downward facing dog. We'll pedal our feet here. Then gently float your right leg up, coming back into that scorpion. Knee option also available, so you're more than welcome to try both. Let's gently square the hips, look forward. Let's step that foot to the outer edge of your mat. Lower your leg into your lizard, and we'll walk ourselves into that spider variation here. So just coming up onto the fingertips, lifting the chest for a moment. And then as you exhale, lower down, hands to the mat. Shoulders release, head releases to the floor. Let's slowly start to walk the hands back to center. We'll release the back foot and then heel toe your foot to the center. Let's float into our crescent lunge here. Let the arms flow up, shoulders down. When you're ready, floating into our mummy. Ooh, it's a bit unstable mummy here. Letting yourself just find a little focal point. And then when you're ready, let's come into our pigeon. Hands to heart or even to the side here today if you want to balance. Wall also an option. Breathing into a nice focal point as you sit through this pose. We'll release, come back up, reach your arms up, last little vampire here. And float back down to the floor. Lift halfway. Exhale. We'll step back into that downward facing dog for a moment. Lower your knees. And then bring your sit bones down to the mat. We'll extend the legs to the front. Come into mummy 2. So, yes. Hands on or bolster on your legs. We'll bring the head down onto the block, bolster. And then if you like, you could have the hands reaching out here onto the bolster, or maybe hands resting, palms facing up. Just hold the last few poses a little bit longer. Here to start to let your breath normalize. No rush though, so we're not forcing it. We're just taking out any form of control. Let your shoulders soften. Beautiful. Gently release the block, your props, or draw the feet in, coming into pumpkin 2. We'll hold and dome your shoulders, let your chin kind of rest. So here you might have a little gap in the knees, or you might hold the knees together, whatever feels better for your neck. We'll start to make our way out. Extend your right leg across the left knee over, coming into our Janusursasana. And just bringing that awareness again to your sit bones. Allow yourself to ground back. And then we'll slowly release and switch over to the other side. We'll come back to center and make your way down to the floor. You're just coming into a nice happy baby. So we'll hold on to the legs, your soles of the feet facing up to the ceiling, your knees past the rib cage. Just going to switch off that top light. You might rock from side to side here. Thinking about the sweetness that we could potentially tap into in a deeper spiritual practice today. So you might spend a little bit more time outside, close to nature. There might be an opportunity to meditate. Maybe you light a candle and just journal and reflect about your day, about how you feel. Let's then slowly release the legs. We'll find our block. We'll pop the block underneath your hips. If you like, you can use your bolster for this one as well. We'll extend the legs up to the ceiling, going into a nice waterfall. As you exhale next, we'll lower one leg down at a time, nice and slow. Let your feet feel nice and weighted. When they land on the mat, we'll release the block. Bring your legs back up to the ceiling. We'll reach the arms up as well. And then here, just shake your feet, shake your hands. This is called dead bug. You might shake your head from side to side. It's actually a genuine yoga pose. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly start to make our way down to the mat into corpse pose. Let your feet flop out, hands rest next to your side. Coming into a beautiful, restful state. Today's Shavasana a little bit longer. So let yourself get comfortable. If you would like some warmer clothing, pop that on. We'll take a nice collective breath in through the nose and out through your mouth. Yeah, just connecting back to that ball of light at the crown of your head. Keeping your crown open, let that light flood down into your body now that we have shifted our energy through our practice. Almost just like another beautiful cleansing, a release. You might ask for some gentle healing in certain parts of your body. You might just ask this light to just gently wash out anything that you don't need, anything that's been holding you back. And just let yourself gently sink here into a nice, beautiful, wonderful rest, washed in that white light. On your next inhale, we'll slowly start to bring the awareness back. Bringing life back into your lungs as you deepen into your breath. Invite some movement into your fingers and your toes. Sweep arms above the head. As you exhale, roll onto one side. Slowly let yourself come up into a seat. Just join the palms of the hands together at the heart space. You're just an acknowledgement of our practice, acknowledgement of our spiritual selves and our spiritual connections, whatever that means to you. And may you gently lean onto that this week, maybe for some guidance or support, or just feeling more connected to a higher purpose. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful energy with me. As always, I'm so grateful. Om Shanti.